Okay, welcome to another Field of Glory 2 Digital League Season 8 battle. This is Early Middle Ages, Division A. I'm commanding the Vikings in Ireland with Irish allies versus Nosy Rats Franks with Croatian allies. Nosy Rat is one of the maybe 4 players that I basically never win against. I think like Nosy Rat, D. Calenda, Ruskikanik, and Panther Boy players I either never or very rarely win games against. So, let's look at his army first. Franks with Croatian allies, 8 light infantry and 4 massed archers. For a medium foot arm, irregular foot. That's it. For heavy foot, dismounted lancers, so above average protected offensive spearmen, and dismounted armored lancers, superior armored offensive spearmen. Defensive shield wall, and lots of cavalry, both the light spear and the lance variety. Okay, well, this is clearly not even remotely a good battlefield for cavalry, assuming I stick to my end of the field. Though, if he stays on his end or circles wide around, things could get dicey. I think I will invest in some high quality heavy foot for the center. Because with a battlefield this narrow, why not? I wonder. So the only reason to deploy far into this forest would be if I wanted to push. But do I want to push? I don't know. The right call, I guess, in a situation where I know I'm facing someone that's much more skilled than I am, is to just stand on the defensive. But even that would raise questions of, which way to weight my flank and how should I stand on the defensive. But we'll throw a light javelin men in the forests. They can scout and they can run away if they need to, and I'll line my entire center front with light archers. Okay, now the question is, how will I cover my flanks? I could form a wall of foot here and just kind of swing it out to form another wall here. So let's see. That will be a job for offensive shield walls, I think. So that way we can max out our Huskarls in the center. A couple more shield walls to round that out. Their flanks can be held by Irish foot and kerns. Can also fill this forest with kerns. Even though Irish foot only costs 6 more, kerns can match his irregular foot, and if we're matching him, that's good enough. Alright, so that leaves me 4 points, or not 4 points, 200 points. I don't know where the 4 came from. Some Irish foot to plunk here, more shield walls. What have we got? 8. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. No. And this wing can also have a commander. Something like that. Yeah. It is probably a very defensive deployment, but if he goes lighter on the Lancer cavalry or on cavalry in general, I should be able to advance anyway with all this light support that I've purchased. Next turn. Okay, what have we got for deployment? Interesting. Very interesting. Let's send some scouts forward. What we got here? Dismounted armored lancers and dismounted lancers. Then some defensive shield wall. Massed archers. That could be a problem. Lancers, stable zone of control lock me fairly effectively. My Kerns can hold the forest without difficulty. And with only 2 units of cavalry, I'm not overly worried about a flanking movement. So the question is, should I attempt a long and slow, obnoxiously slow flanking movement of my own with infantry, or should I just accept that the battle's going to be in the center here? I think we do a bit of both. Let's turn 3 units of shield wall around and send 3 units out. And what I might want to do at some point is throw these Irish foot into this built-up area to hold it down against this massive heavy foot. Onward. Okay, you'll probably experience an increase in the audio volume from here on out. Yes, of course. We'll extend the line a little bit, but I don't think some kind of crazy flanking movement is really a danger. Alright, we'll continue to let him approach. Next turn. Oh, hello. Let's poke our heads out. Just the one so far. I don't think he can see these units yet. I don't think, so I think I will wait to see what he does. I might Might have a bit of a standoff, and if we have a standoff, I'll push out. Along this wing, with the skirmishers supporting medium foot in the rough to put pressure on the lancers. We are just out of range, so let's stand and see what he does. Next turn. He declines my offer. I'm not sure if I can accept his offer either, though, to be honest, with all those horsemen lurking on the flanks and this hill here. We'll want these men to stretch the line of heavy foot if we do push into the open. Okay. Then next turn we can start pushing into this rough. Maybe reveal these. It's kind of a slow burn though. We need these extra shield walls to stretch the line, and once we stretch the line, then we can stretch into the forest more. But again, I don't really know what I would do about this hill. I don't know what I would do about all these lancers ready to push to the flanks. And I'm not super confident about winning a firefight with so many masked archers. Next turn, Nosy Rat might be making fun of me a little bit. Fun game, he says. Now, so clearly he's inviting me to come out from my nice little camping spot and fight. I don't know if I should do that. Beyond like the metagame factor that I basically always lose to him, more importantly, I don't really have the greatest options for attacking. I can't get really significant fire superiority, I don't think. And a lot of my medium foot are going to suffer against lancers and these guys in the open. And going back to the metagame, I have some like painful memories of leaving my nice camping spot to make a game event just getting completely butchered. Which it always feels especially bad to lose a game that you know you could have at least got a draw. We'll push for this rough and see if that elicits some kind of a reaction. I believe those irregular foot are hiding in there. We'll push through this forest, although I believe we will leave the commander with this unit of Irish foot. The point of this forest push will be to if we do end up coming out of our shell and advancing, we'll want to maybe gain the summit of this hill to distract these units. But again, I am not sure if I'm actually going to do that. This is just a little experimental shove in the right direction. We'll see what kind of reaction we get to this movement. Nosferatu is still trying to goad me into attacking. My fear of 25 POA hills, he says. That's part of it. The other fear is that I chose a pretty defensive forest with lots of medium foot for the forest, and they are not so useful outside of the forest. Yeah, you know, I think I'm just going to decline. You won't see me do this all the time, but I'm doing it this time. We are just going to not do that. This will reveal the presence of units in here, but he has to know that they're in here, so... Get some white horse behind, so you can see. Right. Yeah, I'm not proud of this, but I just don't think moving out of this position is a good idea. So I think playing for the draw is a better move. There's a chance he will engage anyway, and that would give me a chance, and if not, so it goes. Okay, disappointing watch, I'm afraid, but Nosy Rat has agreed to a draw. So, looking at the field, I don't think either of us is really making a mistake in doing so. For my part, the hill is tough. And yes, I could do some damage with my lights, but what then? And this is difficult too. You know, he's not going to be dumb enough to charge this open ground with cavalry. So then, what do? We move into the open? Well, that's ugly. We'll get shot up and charged. Also, you know, with all this cavalry moving around, you know, any advance is going to have to halt here. And my kerns are of no use in open combat. And as soon as this line advances, I need to fill this in with something. Yeah. You know, it's possible that I'm giving up a win. It's possible, for example, that I could hurl these lights forward and cause some kind of harassment and force some kind of movement, although breaks seem unlikely. Or I could hurl these lights forward, but again, with his lights and masked archers, I think it's a wash. And without true light superiority to cause disruptions, I don't think my kerns can emerge, and even my Irish foot, really. The alternative would be a straightforward charge of my Huskarls. But again, he is positioned so that he could zone a control lock, and if I did push forward, he has good enough infantry to hold for a while and get some flanks. So I will admit that if either of us is being too cowardly, it's probably me. And there's definitely a metagame element here of, you know, I have emerged to attack Nosy Rat from a good position before and gotten butchered for it. And since I've never beaten him in a game, I'm hesitant to take that risk again. So it is a draw. My apologies.